Unveiled TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Yes, and welcome to Man Unveiled. We are right here at the city center. I'm your host, Joe Wisdom. This is Man Unveiled, a show that comes to you every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. I'm always glad to receive you with my hands open, just to know that you belong to Man Unveiled family. This is the family that you don't want to disconnect from, because this is where the man is empowered, inspired, and transformation happens right here. This is what we say in Man Unveiled, that it takes a man to get the best out of another man. We also said right here on Man Unveiled that in every man there is a mine, and what you get from that mine is dependent on how deep you are willing to dig. If you dig on the surface, you get ordinary stones, but if you dig deeper, you get gold. That is Man Unveiled. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Kindly feel free to share. Let every other man know that something great is happening right here on Elevate TV. On Elevate, we advance kingdom lifestyle. I want to welcome all of us again, even as I welcome our guest on set right here on Man Unveiled. We have a gentleman who is a great friend of mine. I always call him my senior because he is my chairman. At some point he will say where that is, and he is also a senior pastor in a certain church. Dr. Reverend Stanley Ngure, karibu sana Man Unveiled. In fact, you have been a very, very great support to us. Now, Nanga, every time you are live, you are saying, I am watching from Theta, I'm watching, and we appreciate you, sir. Even finding time to come and just be part of this show. May the Lord bless you. Introduce yourself and say, where can we find Reverend Ngure?
Thank you so very much, Apostle Joe and Elevate TV. I'm so delighted to be here. I've been watching this show and many other shows, been following Elevate TV. It's a great platform for Christians, and I encourage us to be able to be watching this wonderful platform. I'm also happy to be here in Man Unveiled. My name is Reverend Stanley Ngure. I'm a married man to Nancy, and I want to greet her wherever she is, together with my children. I minister with Deliverance Church Theta. I also pass my greetings to all the pastors, elders, and members of Deliverance Church Theta. And also I lead a team of pastors, Northern Gate, pastors of Julia sub-county. I also greet them wherever they are. And I also happen to be a chairman of Biblia Circle. I also call upon the members of Biblia Circle. Wherever you are, you can be able to listen to us and follow us, even as we discuss this matter. God bless you.
Wow, thank you so much. And we want also to appreciate the work you are doing, because we know that they say that leadership is work. It's not easy to lead, and especially the different positions you hold, and also pastoring a church. So we appreciate you and we celebrate you. Pastor Wamae,
yes, sir.
You are arranged. I hope you will not be asking for shares after the show. How is Gatundu?
Gatundu is good.
Yes, sir.
We are strong.
All right.
And growing stronger.
Remind our viewer.
Yeah, good evening, viewers. What a joy to be back here on the Man Unveiled show. It's a joy to have you join us. My name is William Wamae. I'm the senior pastor of Redeemed Gospel Church, Gatundu Town. Yeah, I want to say to my wife and my children who are watching us, and our Redeemed Gospel Church, the Liberty Center family, shout out to all the men and all our members. I also want to say to Ngenda Pastors Forum, yeah, and my spiritual father, Apostle Gaya in Redeemed Gospel Church, Ruiru, and my senior, Reverend Patrick Njoroge, leader in Georgia area. A shout out to all of you. And I want to shout out to one man who I really love.
Yes.
He's an elder in our city.
Yes.
His name is Stanley. I celebrate you, Mr. Stanley. You have done a great work to mentor many Christians and many men in Gatundu. The Lord bless you.
Wow. Great. It's good to appreciate people. We say that if you don't appreciate, you depreciate. So it's good to acknowledge what men are doing out there. And especially on Man Unveiled, we celebrate men.
Yes.
Don't just wait for someone to die and you are saying how great he was. We celebrate men as they live. Because that's when they need to know the impact they're having in the society.
Yes.
Looking at our tonight's topic is the man in the battlefield. And men are fighting many battles. I specifically invited Reverend Ngure and Pastor Wamae as ministers also. Because some of these men are in our communities. You people are in the marketplace and you're also in ministry. And some challenges will finally get to where you are. Even for a man who doesn't go to church, the battle will come because the wife is coming to church. So there's always the issues will spill off to the church. And Reverend Ngure, maybe you can help us just to identify and to demystify the aspect of the man in the battlefield, because I know men are fighting many battles. Maybe, what would you say in terms of the battles that men are fighting?
Thank you, Apostle Joe. Men are fighting many battles. And one is, I remember there was a great general in the Bible. And that general was David.
Yes.
David in 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. When he was preparing his son Solomon for kingship, one thing he tells him, show yourself a man. Be strong and show yourself a man. Why is he telling his son like that? Because man is for the battlefield. Men in their own nature, and including in leadership, whenever you are in a place, you should be prepared to deal with some battles. And therefore, whether you're talking about the ministry, and maybe we'll get opportunity to talk about those things. When you talk about the family, building up a family.
Wow, it's a battlefield.
Like I normally tell people, parenting is not for the weak and the fearful. Whenever you want to bring up children, grow them through the teenage, through the young adulthood, you'll fight their battles. Marriage itself is a battle. And that is why many people fall on the way. Building a career is a battle. So there are corporate politics, there are all those things that are happening. And therefore, David told Solomon, show yourself a man. And he went through even talking about what he need to deal with. People like Joab, he told them, you need to deal with Joab. You need to deal with Shimei. And in a normal circumstance, man is always in a battlefield.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So what matters is, will you come out better or bitter?
Okay.
Will you come up strongly built or strongly wounded? So those are the questions that I think we need to ask ourselves. Because you can either come out as a bitter person or a better person.
Wow.
Yes.
As a victor or a victim.
Exactly.
And there's something, when we were off the air, you mentioned something to do with that men are made in the battles.
Yes.
So battles are not just meant to destroy men. Powerful.
Very true. And as you have said, many a times, actually character and even careers and even names, big names, they are made on how many people, on how many battles you have won. Wow. Remember the case of David and Saul. Women were singing.
Okay.
Saul has killed thousands. David has killed 10,000. So the song that was being sung, it is about the battles won.
Wow.
The battles won. So, And I remember even is in the battle that Saul is asking, whose son is that? He wanted to know, who is this?
So your background.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever you are talking about battles with a man or man in the battlefield, that is where actually you can make yourself and make yourself strong. You can make yourself being able to come out as somebody who has been called to do something.
Wow.
By God.
Wow. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And it's good we are getting this right from men who have experience. I say, on Man Unveiled, we don't bring armchair generals. We bring men who have been tested, men who have been in those battlefield, fought battles, gotten some accolades, and lived as examples, not just storytellers, as examples. Pastor Wamae.
Yes, sir.
How now do we help men approach the issue of understanding the battlefield as a place where they are being made and not a place of punishment? Because sometimes men will run away from these battles. Even in our own experiences, a man will tell you, I'm going through this battle. I wish someone can come and, just lift me out of this battle. How now do we balance between fighting the battle and getting the prize and the accolades, and running away from the battles?
Okay. The pride of achievement is in the battle zone.
Great.
So there is no pride. When you look at the game in the world, if a lion finds an antelope that is just there, it's not running away, there is no fun in catching it. The fun is really in the in the pursuing it.
Yes.
And the way it runs away, and that is where the fun is.
Yes.
So as men, we should know our nature should be in fighting.
Yes.
Even our own God is called a man of war.
The Lord of hosts.
He takes pride in how many battles he's fighting every day.
Wow.
And helping people achieve. He tells the children of Israel, I have already given you the land. But the sons of Anak are there. Yeah, but he can't remove them.
Prepare to fight.
Yeah, he can't remove them. They are there. He's telling them, go there.
Yeah.
The sons of Anak are there. But I've already given you the victory.
The victory.
But you have to fight. Because where will you get the pride of owning the land if there is no war that you fought? So no man will pride in achievements if there are no battles he has fought. Yeah.
Wow.
How will your wife celebrate you for what?
Yeah.
I mean, every time I have done something great, I always like the smell on my wife.
Wow.
She feels,
She sees her as a conqueror. You have done it.
This guy.
My guy.
My guy. So that's what the pride is. My children will take pride in it. So as men, it should be our pride.
Yes.
Yeah. And every time we are faced with a challenge, our pride as men is how we bring down that challenge. That's why we are called leaders.
Wow.
Yeah, we have nothing to lead if we are not fighting any battles.
Wow.
Our pride is in the battles we are fighting every day. And so God will always, there is nobody who is enthroned before a battle.
Wow.
You're always enthroned after a battle.
Even the elections that we do
Yes.
is a battle.
Yes.
It's a context.
And if you look at our leaders, anyone taking a high position, there is always a heavy battle before them. Even before the elections begin.
Wow, that's true.
Because if you're going to get the throne, then I'm reading the book of 1 Samuel.
Okay.
And I realized when Saul was anointed king, I mean, people despised him. Nobody believed this guy.
In fact, they refused. Some of them despised him and refused to bring him gifts.
Yes, they didn't bring him gifts until a battle manifested. Then Saul led them, and they fought the battle and they won. Then they started saying, who are those people who are despising Saul?
Wow. Wow.
So that's where the pride is. The pride is in the battles that you win.
Wow. So, Reverend, does this mean that as men we should be excited when we... So, does it mean that we have a problem with attitude to the battles or towards the battles?
Very true, Apostle Joe. Yeah. And actually, our greatest issue right now, even in parenting, and why you find even young people are not being able to face life, is because we have shielded even our young people from facing life the way it is.
Wow.
So by the time the young man now faces the real life, they go to depression.
Yeah.
Or they go to take...
They don't have the muscle.
They don't have the muscle. Because even the young man is a kababa, is a what. So this young man, when he go and face life the way the life is,
Yes.
he get discouraged
So
so
little
easily.
intimidated.
And that is why somebody said it is even good also, as much as you are parenting, because earth or this realm we live is a realm of battlefield.
Yes.
And we must agree.
Does it mean, Reverend, that a man cannot run away from battles?
You can't. You can't. When you see a servant of God with a good functioning church, it's battles they have won.
Wow.
Come on now.
When you see even a nation doing well, is a battle that has been won by leaders.
Wow. We fought for independence. That's why we are free.
We fought for independence. The white men will still be here.
Wow.
It is because of gallant soldiers who are able to say no, enough is enough.
Wow.
When you see civil rights that are being enjoyed in America, it's because people like Martin Luther King,
Yes.
Reverend, was able to rise up.
Wow.
Many things happen when people fight.
Wow.
Adlem is a place of battles. Wow. And that is why when we shield our children from facing life the way it should, especially the sons, they grow up as people who are not they don't understand battles. So the moment they were tissue, for lack of a better word,
They'll give in to the threat. They will be intimidated.
They will be intimidated. And therefore, my take is, even when we are bringing up children, as much as we are working to leave something for them because it is good, a good man leaves inheritance.
Yes.
But it is good to allow them to struggle to do something.
Wow.
Let your son struggle to do something and build up something for himself, because that is what life is. Life is a battlefield.
Wow, powerful. Some powerful insights right here from Man Unveiled. Continue writing to us. I can see some people watching us. Thank you, Precious Comfort. Precious Comfort is your friend. And thank you, my sister, for watching. God bless you. This is the marketplace champion. We celebrate you, my sister. Morege B. Minor. This is Daktari. Oh, thank you, Daktari. Daktari is saying that it's good to see his two mentors. He knows you very well. And thank you. I said, nice. Watch two of my mentors in the same show. Clear Chege, I'm listening. All the way from Gatundu. These your battalions, huh? They are camping here. You know. And Karen, thank you, Karen. John Mashira, all the way from Narok. God bless you, my brother, for your encouragement. And the others who are watching us on Evangelist Dongo Patrick, all the way from Mayakos. We celebrate you, sir, and you are doing a good job. I was in Machakos the other day, and Reverend Patrick is doing some good job there. This is a man who walked by faith.
Wow.
He left Meru.
Wow.
He resigned from employment. He was a banker. And he said that God have sent him to Machakos.
Wow.
Such faith have I not seen in Nairobi. So we celebrate all of you, and there's something I want you. How do we balance, Pastor Wamae, between now exposing our children? Because sometimes what Reverend is saying is very true. Sometimes you want to give your children a better life. You went to school without shoes. You used to leave school and go kibarua just to make sure that you have something. How do we balance between teaching our children on the very virtues, that the virtue of work, and appreciating that battles are part of life, and exposing them? Because sometimes parents will feel like, I cannot expose my child. Haezi akaenda mjengo. I remember personally when I was done with Form 4, fourth form, I connected with a cousin of mine, and we started doing vibaruas. We could go do manual work. In fact, choo zingine tulichimba, digging pit latrines. Hazijai jaa mpaka wa leo. You can imagine how many years. Tulikuwa tunaenda chini. And my mom somehow could feel like I'm a son of a teacher. Watu wanafikiria aje. But you know, my cousin used to tell me, Joe, you better get used to hard work. Only to realize that later, the work is lighter. And that really taught me so much. How do we balance between raising up a generation of weak men and raising up a generation of strong men without feeling like you're exposing them unnecessarily?
Yeah, the best way for people to learn is by observing. When our children are around us, if we present an image that is not real, when we do not expose them to our struggles, what happens is that they get a wrong impression.
Wow.
That dad always has money. I mean, my dad is a hero. We don't lack because dad always, let them see your struggles. If I don't have money, I'll tell my son, for example, I'll tell him, I do not have money, I'm waiting on God.
Wow.
And if God comes, I'll come to him.
Is that not exposing yourself, sir?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Now my son...
some parents watching us right here, they will never want their children to know that there's no money. They borrow, kuna mshwari, kuna mkesho kuta. You do all those things as a parent just to shield your children and to show them that you are this strong man who never lacks anything.
The current generation we have, the Gen Zs, they want real life.
I agree with you.
They do not want plastic things. They don't want to be deceived. They don't want to put up an image. That's why they're very mad with our politicians. So I would really want to encourage parents, just be genuine.
Wow.
Like now, my children know how I live by faith. They know when dad didn't have money, he didn't have. When he has, I'll spoil them. They know now he has.
You do justice.
I'll do justice to them. I mean, it's just when you're real to them, they know that life is not a straight line. Struggles that you face in life, and those struggles are real.
Yes.
Because the day they leave your hands, they will face those struggles by themselves.
That's true.
What they will remember is how you handled the struggles when they came.
So it's good to work with them.
So that they will know. This came, I remember my dad, their company was declared bankrupt in 1987. And everyone had to go home the way he came. And my dad was a senior manager. So we had to stay.
So as we are speaking, you are speaking to a son of a senior manager.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So we had to go through struggles.
Yes, sir.
We, at some point, didn't have food to eat. Yeah. But after a few years, God began to raise him again.
Stabilize, yes.
And he rose up to even heights he had never achieved before. So when I see that, I even preach with it, and I tell people, even when you go through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, for the Lord is with you.
My father has been there.
My dad has been there.
Yes.
I remember when I went to school with patched clothes.
Yes.
Going that low. One day we ate a spoon of sugar for supper, each one of us.
Wow.
Because there was no food.
Thank God there was sugar.
Yes, at least there was sugar.
At least.
Tuliramba hiyo tukalala. But later on, at one point, my father had 2 cars.
Wow.
So he still rose. So when I see struggles come my way, I identify because my father.
You saw it firsthand. Wow.
So
see stories are jabba, you saw it
stories are jabba. I mean, they know you are struggling. Stop.
Stop pretending.
Let them walk with you, and let them also learn how God comes through.
Let them know the reality of the battles you're fighting.
Yes.
Reverend, I celebrate you as one man who have walked with his son. Just the other day we came to celebrate the wedding of your son, your elder son. What is the place of mentorship? Because I know your son knows you as a banker, and he also knows you when you resigned. Was there a time possibly that life was not very fair and he didn't actually feel like Dad used to bring this and is no longer there? How do you bring balance when you are mentoring these children and showing them that now life is different, we are transiting?
Just like the way Pastor Wamae has said, it is good to expose your struggles.
Wow.
Even to the young people. They have understanding. They have understanding. One thing that makes men wounds to be very septic and not able to heal well, it is because we hide our wounds. A wound, even a physical wound, if you just cover it, it can easily become septic.
Yeah, that's true.
But when the wound is exposed and and the
Healing
proper
happens.
medicine, healing begin to happen. So even psychological or spiritual wounds, or even life wounds, situations wounds, if you expose them well, including even to your children or to your wife, you become better.
The pressure goes down.
The pressure goes down. Because many a times you would like to become an officer,
Yeah.
a person who is knowing everything,
The chief commander.
chief commander, does not fail in anything, ever smart, ever knowing.
Yes.
There is only one who is all knowing, and that is
The
God.
Alpha and Omega.
But when you are able to expose your weaknesses, those weaknesses actually helps.
Are you telling us that it's good at some point as a man
Yes.
to become vulnerable?
Very vulnerable, and I agree with you, Apostle. Because vulnerability helps you for people to know you are a human being.
Wow.
A man is a human being.
But we have taught our children that we are supermen. I never failed in school. I used to become number one. How does that leave our children and in relation to now mentorship and them learning from us, because they say monkey see monkey do.
There is a story that is told.
Yes, sir.
That one time a young boy went inside the house and they got an exam paper, and that exam paper did not have good marks. It was having about, say, 40%. And then that paper the son brought, maybe he was class 4 or grade 4, and the father railed at the son. How can you get 40%? Our family do not get 40%. I used to get so and so. All of a sudden the son said, actually this paper, I got it from your box. Look at the name. The name is leading your name. Me, I've been getting good marks.
Flat-footed.
So, the moment we show the world
Yes.
that we are human beings, and to tell them the truth, and to be vulnerable, as you have said, it makes you better.
Wow.
It makes you better because they know you are human. You can cry, you can laugh with them, and as you have told me, like my son who has just gotten married, and I appreciate all my children, wherever they are. I have 2 daughters and 2 sons.
Yeah.
And now the son, one thing I've told him, it is to agree on consequences of life.
Yeah.
Consequences of life is, if you choose this one, be ready to get that consequence.
Yeah.
So it is you to fight, because if you don't fight, there are consequences of
Wow.
failure.
Wow.
So, and that one is very key for us to be able to be able to show forth even the young generation and our families.
Powerful conversation going on right here. We want to mentor our sons. We don't want weaklings, we want strong men. And strong men are made in the battlefield. That is where, that's the factory. That's where strong men are made. Not just by showing them a light and a good life. A good life is good. A soft life is okay. But what about tomorrow? As we continue this conversation, allow me to acknowledge Hidden Destiny following our pastors. No stories ajaba. Wow. Hidden Destiny, thank you so much. And Christine Moiro watching. Rachel Angoy, a man is accorded more respect from the battles he has conquered. A very encouraging point from my able pastor Wamae. More grace. And Evangelist Dongo Patrick, all the way from Machakos, he says that my take home, men should learn how to expose their struggles to their children. That's powerful. Men too are human beings, they should be real, like you have said. Karen, thank you so much. I appreciate all of us who are watching. Anthony Kamau, all the way from Roiro. God bless you, sir, for watching. And we want to take a short break, but we are coming back. The debate and the discussion is getting better. As we go for this break, call a man. Tell them something great is happening right here on Elevate. See you after this break.
Support Elevate TV, Partner with us in advancing the kingdom. Did you know that Elevate TV is sustained through the generous contributions of our valued viewers and ministry partners like you? Your financial support enables us to continue broadcasting life-transforming content that promotes a kingdom lifestyle across Africa and beyond. We invite you to send your love gifts today and become part of this impactful mission. You can do so through M-Pesa till number 532-9905. And for the international audience, use Wave Remit 0706 655 554. For more information, call or text 0719 666 655. Elevate TV is an award-winning Christian broadcaster reaching millions across the continent and beyond with uplifting Christ-centered programming. Join us in shaping a generation for the kingdom. Anytime, anywhere. Watch Elevate TV on the go. Stuck in traffic? No problem. Catch up on powerful content. Pretending to work at the office? Stay inspired. One tap and you're ready to go. Download the Elevate TV app today on Google Play Store.
Yes, and welcome back to Man Unveiled. We are right here at the city center, Elevate TV studios. Here we say we advance kingdom lifestyle. I want to send my appreciation to Apostle David Juma, our executive producer, Pastor Sunta. Thank you so much for this opportunity, because this is where we help men. This is where men are shaped. You'll never find such a show elsewhere apart from Elevate TV. I'm your host, Joe Wisdom. I'm joined by our most leveraged Dr. Stanley Ngure, all the way from DC Theta. Ukiwa pale Ruiru, ukiwa pale UK, uko Kimbo, pale Kimbo. On the way to Matangi, you'll see, on your left, you'll see DC Theta, a very beautiful sanctuary. Allow me to campaign this because I've fellowshipped there. If you're looking for a church around that place, that's a good place to join. I'm joined by Pastor Wamae, all the way from RGC, the Liberty Center, Gatundu. The man who is preaching in the village and in town. This is a dangerous man. Welcome as we continue with the discussion. We are looking at our discussion, the man in the battlefield, and we have been able to demystify that battles are good, battles are healthy. It is in the battlefield that men are made. I do want to come back to our discussion, and Reverend Ngure, maybe you can help us, because you are able to bring us to a place of understanding that there are different battles. Maybe you can mention just but a few. Maybe in 5 minutes we discuss them, then so that we can go now to the other part. What are some of these battles that men are fighting because they keep coming to you?
Men are fighting many battles, as you have said. One is the battle of the family. Family is our platform where there is a lot of battles. Where you are talking of marriage, the relationship between you and your wife, the relation between you and your children. There's a battlefield. The battlefield of financial establishment or stability, because it is in the heart of every man that he should be able to do well.
To be economically empowered.
Economically empowered. So that is another battlefield. I have made a story, but recently there was a man who had lost a job for about 3 years. He was not working. The children want to go to school, you know, all those things. Thank God this month, he got a good job somewhere.
Wow. Glory to God.
So in businesses, all those are battles. The battles of the calling for us who are men of God.
Yeah, that's true.
As I said, growing a church, establishing a ministry is a battle.
It's a battlefield.
Yeah, and there is all sorts of things to balance in leadership, in what have you, in leadership, in the membership, and all that, in growth, in evangelization, all those things. And above all, you are also fighting the spiritual battles.
Wow. Yeah.
Because whenever you are talking about the calling, and especially establishing a ministry, there's a lot of spiritual battles.
Yeah.
Even where we are, the an altar,
Yeah.
the city center,
They are the battles that comes with being here.
the apostolic house, for it to be established here, it's a battle that has been fought for the work to continue. So there are many fronts in terms of the battles that men fight, and you are bound to be wounded, but it depends on how you fight and ensure that you continue moving.
Yeah.
Continue moving, and maybe we'll go to that.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Wow.
Yes.
You have mentioned about the woods, and I think that's a good point. Because, Pastor Wamae, we want to look at, in the midst of these battles, sometimes you'll be wounded. It goes without saying that at some point, you'll be wounded.
Yeah.
How do you approach the healing process? Because sometimes we overstay. Sometimes these wounds, maybe there are wounds that come and they need time to heal. Because when the battle comes, like family battle, like you have mentioned, maybe there will be strain it strains the relationship between you and your spouse. But again, you get back on your feet and you have a job. Let's take that example. How do you now heal from aliniona kama mimi sio mtu, nimepata kazi, do I go back and punish them because of the challenges? Sometimes I have seen men lose jobs and they really go through a very difficult time because at that time maybe the wife is providing and the respect is not there. There are some women who don't know how to respect a man when he's not earning. How do you heal and become the leader that you are?
I want to mention two things, and I think I would want to frame them as battles also. One of them is identity. One of the things I find men struggling with a lot, and I struggled with that a lot as a person, is identity. We do not know who we are. So sometimes some of the intra-conflict is because you really do not know who you are. And you see nobody can discover who they are until they discover God.
Wow.
It all starts with God. You are his idea. You cannot know yourself until you've known him. The more you know him, the more you discover you. So when that element of identity is there, you find yourself struggling with low self-esteem. Wow. Because you do not know yourself.
And money will define you.
Yes. And money will define you.
A job will define you.
Yes. So you do not, if you lose what you identify with, then you lose your identity.
You feel exposed.
You feel exposed because in the first place, you have not had a real identity.
Maybe you can help us, Pastor Wamae.
Yes.
What defines a man?
Yes.
Because mostly even when we gather as men, the first thing we ask, what do you do?
Exactly.
Are we defined by what we do?
Now you see, that's where we miss it.
All right.
Because man is God's idea. God is the one who came up with the idea of a man. He even defined that thing called what do you do.
Okay.
He gave Adam the job. He was to till the ground. He was to, take care of it. Wow. It is God who created Adam. He had the blueprint. He even had the work that he was to do.
The JD, job description.
Exactly. He had it for him. So the aspect of identity is very important. Now, for Adam to know exactly what he needs to do, he had to correlate with God. That's how it was clear for him. Wow. Now, why we are having a serious problem is because Satan is working hard to disconnect men every day from God. You do not find men in church, go to clubs. The vehicles are parked there, they're 4x4s. And they're there for hours. When they come to church, they're in a hurry to leave. The service is too long. So the aspect of identity becomes a serious thing. Kikiumana, where do they run to?
They go back to church.
Because somehow in their heart of hearts they know, if I'm seriously seeking for a solution in life, the way I'll get a lasting solution, the place is church. That's number one. So the aspect of identity. So until you've known who exactly you are, then you continue because even when you're going through struggles, you have that assurance. I'm sure, Apostle Joe, you found yourself in situations where you really don't know how to come out of it.
Yeah.
But that deep-seated assurance that I'm not alone.
That's true.
God is with me. He is my Father. And allow me to mention, you see, many people, many young men today who are drunkards, actually many drunkards today learned it from their fathers. Yes. It is the picture that he grew up seeing that gave him the identity of the man that he has become today. So when you see men, you know, staggering, talking, you know, in a funny way because they are drunk, they portray an image like this is what real men do. And so you get a wrong identity. No. So that's number one, the aspect of identity. The other one is the one that I've had, is it you or Reverend Ngure who mentioned, the aspect of vulnerability.
Yes.
Men do not want to be vulnerable. So someone is hurting, but they can't say.
They want to bring forth a brave face.
Yes.
Everything is okay.
You are being auctioned, but you can't say.
Yeah.
Yet imagine there's a man who can pay the money you're being auctioned because you've not paid, with one check. But you can't say because you do not want to be.
You don't want to look. You don't want to look weak.
Yes, but I can tell you, it is in our weaknesses that God's strength is made manifest.
Wow.
Yeah. So we need to learn to be vulnerable. I mean, Apostle Joe, I could be sleeping hungry, and you have 500 shillings that can sort me.
That's true.
Why should I die with my problems? Why should I be hurting? My wife could be battering me. Yeah.
Na unajua kwanza
na siwezi ambia watu na chapangwa.
Do you know now when a woman is battering a man?
Yes.
It becomes very tricky because a woman will pull you aside.
Yes.
And give you some few punches, then releases you to other men, and you can't say anything.
Yes.
She can even pull you nyuma ya kanisa.
Yeah.
Akutengeneze vizuri alafu akuachirie.
Yes. So you see, but you do not want to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Because you're worried about what will people say. But as men, we need to learn to be vulnerable. I mean, when David was told what he had done by Nathan, the guy just said true. I mean, surely. Said, he went to God crying and said, actually, what you have said is true. He didn't deny it. He accepted it. So we need to learn to be vulnerable. Wow. I mean, it's just one of the areas where I think we fail as men. Even in church, you find people don't talk about the pain and the struggles they are going through. But let's learn to be vulnerable.
Wow.
When we do that, we expose our wounds. You realize that when you've shared a problem, even before a solution comes, you have
something have already left.
You gather strength. You revamp.
Some weight has already dropped.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. That's something. And I think men are learning, because I know there are men who are right there and they are stranded, they are confused. But vulnerability, as you said, and also don't keep something to yourself.
I had a story, allow me to mention. I had a story of a man who slept with a woman, and the woman took a video without the man knowing.
Yes.
And then, he told the man, give me a certain amount of money after they finish.
Manipulation now.
Yes. And if you do not give me the money, I'm going to throw this thing on Facebook.
There are so many men who are going through that.
Yes. And so the man started becoming thin.
Yes.
He couldn't share this thing with anyone. He can't be vulnerable. And so the story became bad. The man moved from bad to worse. Death started increasing. The wife just saw the man getting emaciated every day. Until at one point, the man decided, I can't keep this thing to myself. And he went and shared with the best man. And this is what has happened to me. And so when the best man heard that, he looked at the man and realized this man is actually going to die. So he just decided, you know what, we're going to go and tell your wife. Yeah. So if the woman decides to throw it on social media, so be it. But your wife will be there. She
is your support system.
She will become your support system. If she decides to leave you, we will handle it. So they went and they told the wife. When the wife heard that, he looked at the husband and said, why haven't you told me? How could you suffer like this without me knowing?
My goodness.
So what he feared the most was the wife knowing. But instead of the wife attacking him, she actually became the biggest support system.
Yes.
Then now they handled the girl. And now it became a criminal case.
Wow. Because that is intimidation,
so many of the problems that people are going through, they can be sorted if you're willing to be brave enough.
Every problem has a solution.
Yes.
But let me give a warning to a man. If you have not done it, please don't try that at home. Because you should not go doing it and saying that I will tell my wife, my friend, you lose your family. It's good to put a caution.
Yes.
Reverend,
Yes.
you, from where God has positioned you,
Yes.
how now do we help men? Because where is the place of faith?
Yeah.
Where is the place of faith in the process of a man healing? Because there are men who used to do very well in the marketplace.
Yes.
At some point, that time they were very strong in faith. They used to give themselves to service. When money came, they left church. When they went there because the foundation, the seed, was in God, they lost everything. How do we receive these people as part of healing? Because there's someone who is shy of coming back because they felt like, sasa wataona nimekuja juu nimesota. Where is the place of faith in the whole issue of a man healing? There's a man who have lost his family, or maybe fighting family battles, as you said, and possibly he has given the wife some few, what we call fivefold ministry. He has been gracious, and he wants to stride back to church. Where is the place of faith in terms of the man healing?
Thank you. I'll go close to what Pastor Wamae has said concerning identity.
Yes.
Because it all boils to that. Because I know even some men who we began with when we were young, serious in God, used to go to evangelism, but when money comes, they find their identity in
other
money.
things. Yes.
They find their identity in groupings. Like where I come from, there is quite a huge number of people who are going back to traditions. And they find themselves some identity in eating those goats together and all those kind of things. And because those things are being done every weekend, they are being done so oftenly. And you are told you cannot be in such a grade or recognized as a man unless you give a goat.
Yeah.
So it becomes a problem. But when you know that you find yourself in God, and that is why God say, let us create man in our own image and in our likeness. When we find that likeness of ourselves in God, we see our image in God.
Wow.
That we see ourselves in God, then it sorts out all those problems.
Wow.
It sorts out all those problems. And even if somebody's probably backslid, he was misled to believing other things, he has backslidden, probably left their house or left their family, become irresponsible, and the devil has taken advantage of them, please come back to God.
Wow.
That is where your identity is. And be vulnerable.
Like the prodigal son.
Like the prodigal son. Exactly. Luke 15. But the only problem is, many prodigal men, they take so long before restoration.
Is it an issue of pride?
Is that men sometimes can be prideful. Manhood has that eagerness.
Or thinking what people will say. People will think because I'm bankrupt, that's why I'm going to church.
I'm a weak person. But you see, you can see these men had gone to a level of eating with pigs. And unfortunately, men wait until going to the level of pigs. That's the biggest problem. Because they are not able to know. You know, women, when they get a challenge, they cry out.
Yeah.
I have a problem here. But men, because of manhood and
Ego.
It's
an issue of ego.
So you can suffer more. You can have long suffering. And as you suffer, some things are going bad.
Yeah.
Some things are going bad. And that is why you see even what the example that Pastor Wamae gave. That man was emaciated. He borrowed everywhere. So by the time the wife said, what is happening? He has taken so long in suffering. So my take even to man who is listening to us is that let's respond quickly.
Wow.
Whenever we find ourselves in a certain corner, whenever you see yourself you are swerved to the wrong direction, please cry out.
Wow.
And this is also having very close relationship. Many men don't have very close relationship.
Yeah.
Even when they are eating goats together, even when they are fellowship, whichever place, say in bars and clubs, they are not able to open up. So let's be able to open up and open up in the right place.
Wow.
Yes.
I get another story. And sometimes, men, maybe I'll share that story by the end of this show because of our time. Allow me to acknowledge some of those who are watching us on YouTube. Karibu sana, thank you for your support. Mercy Kuria, hi, it's Mercy from Getuge, very tuned. Wow, Mercy, I remember you. I was in Odaya Getuge for a mission last weekend from Friday through Sunday. And Mercy is watching us all the way from Getuge. Thank you and say hi to those young people and Getuge Church, AIC. Pastor Sari Gedenji watching, had been blessed. You know Pastor Sari, she told me she know you. And say hi to Bishop, and we are waiting for that set coming very soon. Also we have Susan Nyambura. I'm sure Susan all the way from Narok. God bless you, my sister. Jane Mwaura, Josephat Karanja Kirago, I'm following from Lenana, thank you. Rock Peter, Apostle Rock, all the way from Ruaka, thank you. Representing Ruaka very well. Thank you, God bless. Dixon Bunyali, amen. Foreign Crusade, powerful teaching. And we appreciate Newton Kivuti all the way from Ruaka. God bless you, sir. Stanley Macharia, and all of you who are watching us, we feel we are indebted that you chose Man Unveiled to be your show. We continue the conversation. Pastor Wamae, kindly. When we talk about the issue of faith, and sometimes men are trying to slide back, but again, pride cannot let them. Now, I want you to explain to us as we come to the close of this show, because our time is gone, the healing process of a man. How do you even know that you are healing? Because there are men who think they have healed, but they are very bitter. And how does the healing process begin? How can there's a man watching us and we want to heal, to start the healing process. How can he be?
No, I love the word healing.
Yes.
Because if you are sick, you go to a doctor.
Yes.
That's how healing starts.
Yes.
The first step you take to go and see a doctor, when you go to the doctor...
There are people who say that they heal at the scene of crime. Sin of, they call it sin of what? Injury. Injury sin.
The truth about healing is that healing begins when you decide, I'm going to visit a doctor.
Wow, yeah.
And going to a doctor is actually allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Okay.
He may tell you, remove your clothes.
Yes, you will do it.
And you will do it.
Anyhow is a how. You just need to do it.
Because you want healing. So any man who is serious about desiring to be healed, you must seek help.
Seek help.
There is no problem that does not have a solution.
Wow.
Every problem you're facing, no matter how magnanimous it may appear, there is a solution for you somewhere. And it will not be far away from you.
Wow.
It's just, sometimes it's just information.
Yes. Or
just,
a man away.
Yeah, just information. Someone may just tell you something that will sort your issues.
Yeah.
It's only big in your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. There are others who have, you know, David slew Goliath, but there were still other giants.
Oh, yes.
And they were all killed. So, I mean, it's Goliath who appeared so big in the eyes of the of the children of Israel.
Yeah.
But the other giants later on who were killed, the sons of Anak were displaced. I mean, so there is always a solution. So a man must be willing enough
to seek help.
Go and seek help. And importantly, seek help from the right place.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there are people out there. Look for a man who has values that you know are values that you admire. You know, there's a man who was called Johanna, who was a Mokorino. One day he decided the pressure is too much. I can't take it anymore. And he decided my problem is the kireba I'm putting on. So he decided to remove it and go to a pub. So when we went to the pub and he was sitting on those sinatabus, and he ordered for a Tusker. As he was going to sip it, to take the Tusker, some men were there and they looked at him, they were wondering.
This is Johanna.
Isn't that Johanna? See who read Johanna, the man with the turban? How come he looks like him? Yeah, it's him. So finally they decided that is Johanna. And they went and asked him, aren't you Johanna? He said, yeah, I'm the one. Instead of, I asked, what are you doing here? He said, me, I'm tired with those things of salvation. They told him, what is wrong with you? We want to come where you are and you are coming. They beat him. And eventually, Johanna did not stay there. He had to go back to salvation.
Wow.
I'm not saying that is the kind of a solution.
We should Johannarize other people who are trying to go back to.
I'm not trying to say that is how we should help people solve their problems.
We should not Johannarize others.
We should not Johannarize others.
Okay.
But what I'm saying in general
Yeah.
is that find help somewhere.
Wow.
Where there are people who actually you admire to become like them.
Yes.
Yeah, so there are people in church, there are people out there, there are professionals. Find help. Don't die there alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Reverend, how do we help these people, even in our churches and in our other spaces? How do we create a safe space for men? Because there are some who are still ailing and hurting and they're in our congregations. How do we create a safe space for them without being judgmental? How do we do that? Because there are pastors listening to us and there are counselors. There are people, community leaders, and these people want to be vulnerable to them, but they fear that they'll be judged. How do we do that, sir?
One thing that, and thank you for that question, adding on what my colleague has said. One thing that God has given us, every man is a son, and every man can be a father.
Yeah, that's true.
So, as we talk about the man unveiled and the battles of men, I would like also to propose to men who are listening to us that you need to get a father figure.
Wow, I like that.
And a father can either be a biological father or a spiritual father.
Yes.
And every father wants the best out of a son.
That's true.
Whether a biological father or a spiritual father. And that is the place, because a father is a person who can be able to tell you, remove your clothes, I want to see your scars. I want to see you. And one thing that many men who are struggling in life and with wounds is that they have not been able to identify fathers. And that is why I want to encourage even the fathers who are biological, let us be able to open up to our sons.
Wow.
Let us be close to our sons. They have their own struggles. Spiritual fathers, let's be able, and we should not be there to judge, because many a times fathers, we can be there to judge and judge sometimes very harshly, and that is why a son can keep to themselves, because I know if I open to this spiritual father, I will be removed from the church.
Or he will even give an example with me there.
Yes, I'll become the sermon next Sunday.
Yes.
And being a bad example. So my take is, let's be vulnerable to our fathers, because again, you don't become vulnerable to anybody, because people can also take advantage of you.
That's true.
But a father is a place positioned by God. We can see all various fathers in the Bible who were able to deal with various issues pertaining to a man who was a son.
Wow, powerful, and I think we can get those fathers, and you can trust God to lead you to a good father. You can also do your research. You can also visit several men. You can observe and see this man can be a good father, because you can tell by the people a father has raised. Pastor Wamae, as we come to the cross,
Yes.
you can just say your last word and speak to that man who has been in the battlefield and he is healing. Just one word. As you invite us for something that is coming this coming Sunday.
Okay. I want to tell the man who is out there, don't die alone. Refuse to die alone. I mean, go and seek help. Don't just be submerged by your issues. Go and look for help out there. There are many people who are willing to help you. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. People who can be accountable. That's my parting shot. There is hope for you. The Bible says there is hope for a tree, though it may be cut down. At the scent of water, it shall sprout again. I want to welcome all the men to our church on Sunday, Redeemed Gospel Church, the Liberty Center in Gatundu town. We are having a men conference, a summit for the men on Sunday at 2 p.m. Apostle Joe Wisdom will be ministering to us. He's done it again. We've been talking about this on this show. We are coming to Gatundu. Time is now. Karibuni sana. At 2 p.m. We'll start. It will be a men-only meeting. We'll talk our men issues. We'll unmask everything. We'll be vulnerable in that meeting. Yes. Yes, and it's going to be powerful. We have men coming all the way from Ruiru, Juja, Theta, all the way. And we want to welcome you to be part of that program. I'm sure when you come, your life will never be the same again.
Wow. That's powerful, because I'll be speaking and you cannot miss. You cannot miss. Be there. I want to get some 10 people who will say, I've been watching you from Man Unveiled. It will be exciting to see you. Reverend Ngure, our own doctor, look at this camera and speak to that vulnerable man. Speak to that man who is watching us and that man who need hope. Then tell us about DC Theta and how we can come one time there, just fellowship.
Thank you so very much. Mine is to tell that man who is wounded, let's move out from the past. Because many of us, because of various mistakes that happened, or many things that have happened in our lives, we have lived in our past. And past, let it remain past. Because your future is where your blessing is. My challenge to us is, let's learn from those past mistakes, and as we move forward, we'll be able to be a better man, and the wounds shall be healed. Because if we live in the past, those wounds will look like they are fresh wounds and will never get healed. So that is my take, my parting shot to the man listening to me. Because this life we have made various mistakes, even us, we have made some various mistakes, but we can be able to look forward. Shout out once again to my wonderful wife Nancy, and also welcoming all of us to Deliverance Church Theta. We are located at Kimbo Roiro, Kimbo Matangini Road. That is where we are. We have wonderful men there. We have wonderful ladies there. We have wonderful youth there. And even in Theta place where we are, we have a wonderful fellowship of pastors. And Julia also, Northern Gate. May the Lord bless you so very much, even as you continue serving God. And I'm excited to be here, Apostle Joe, and to be in Man Unveiled.
Thank you so much.
God bless
I
you.
can see Moses Washira, Reverend. Pastor Reverend Moses Washira is here, you know him. And Esther Haki, Fidelis Gatti, Daniel Kamodho, Linus Joe, my spouse, thank you so much. Monica Njoro, Kuria Jojo from Qatar. Thank you, my brother, for watching. And Paul Kimani, the man with the assignment. God bless you, sir. Dixon Bunyari, Eddie Mwangi, and all of you who are watching, please, we feel so much indebted. Always remember to keep it Man Unveiled. Until next Wednesday, consider watching other programs that comes here on Elevate TV. I'm your host, Joe Wisdom, and always keep it Man Unveiled. God bless you and good night.